You know, I worried I'd used too much God's bane on you. But you don't appear to be drooling, and your brain isn't coming out of your ears. That's it. You take a moment to collect yourself. This is it with you street types. You never take things seriously. I came to see you in your box, or whatever it is you call a home, and I presented you with an opportunity. You, perhaps somewhat justifiably, told me to piss off, but I did tell you that my door was open and we would have a conversation one way or the other. So, now here we are. Just you came to me by way of a bag on your head. Oh, save yourself the struggle. I'm quite particular with my rope work, and I'm very good at knots. If I'd really wanted you tied down, you'd know about it. Now, be a dear and be quiet as I tell you what's going on. I've been told I've the patience of a saint. Of course, that tends to come from people who do not test me. And I assure you, I do have alternatives if you choose not to behave. Thank you. Let's get one thing straight between us. You are my first choice, but you are not my only choice. Others also know this city well, but not as well as you. Understand? A nod will do. I appreciate the gag makes things difficult, but I'll manage. Good. I recently arrived to Bayard's Hilt, and rather than rely on the local nobility to undoubtedly lie and send me into an ambush that will be costly for both them and me, but mostly them, I have decided that the best waymakers would be the populace. You are all charmingly parochial and reliably guided by self-enrichment. However, your name, in particular, has come up a few times in the reports my contacts sent me. You are someone who knows their way up, around, and sometimes beneath the city, and that is a skill I have need for. That is not all, though. You stand out for both your familiarity of these streets and an expressed interest in leaving them. I believe if you help me with the former, then I can help you with the latter. Now, would you like to hear more, or shall I save my breath and move on to another? Good. Very good. If you'd refused, then you'd be a body found floating by the docks. What I tell you within these four walls goes no further, for it is still very much a possibility. Understand? Good then. I am a scion of the archivist, but you can just call me Scion. As is expected of my role, I seek knowledge, and the Viridian Academy has hired my services in purveying that knowledge. Are you familiar with the works of Magus Ferracor? No, I expected not, but worth asking anyway. She was one of the premier talents in black iron crafts and manufacturing, and after her disappearance, her notes, what's left of them anyway, point towards a workshop nestled somewhere deep within this city, and I aim to seek it out. I had formally requested access to the libraries here, but much to my lack of surprise, I was barred entry. Writ of free passage or no, it appears the Academy here clutches at their secrets as a drake would their hoard. This is something I cannot abide, and I will not return empty-handed. This may end up being bloody work, but blood is easier washed clean than the stain of failure. My patron has given me many things, but the knowledge of the streets beneath remain permanently elusive, due to their perpetual state of collapse or the abstruse nature of a city beneath a city. They are a cartographic impossibility, and so you will be my guide, representative, and message runner if need be. Furthermore, given that I've had your grubby face wiped so I can get a good look at you, and that you in fact do not look half bad, you will accompany me to formal functions as a +1, and inform me of whatever local customs your criminal elements maintain until I find someone more in line with such a role. I'm sure you've dodged more than one stabbing in your lifetime. You can expect more. In exchange, you will become a temporary member of my retinue. You will be clothed, paid, and on occasion armed and armored as the situation warrants. I will hand you off to my quartermaster and master-at-arms for evaluation and training. I assure you, it will not be easy, but I'm sure it's better than living day to day with nary a cut of bread and sleeping with your back to the wall. Once we are done here, and if you're still alive, you may join us as we continue to seek out further works of Magus Ferracor. This will involve travel far afield, and I can guarantee you will come across and communicate with elements of the wild, and possibly even splinters of the court of the Corpse King. Can I expect that last part to trouble you? I don't believe you, but it's ultimately irrelevant for the time being. You will adjust. We found you in Lower Flotsam, so I am assuming that is where you are most familiar. We are camped out in one of the disused warehouses, and that is where we will be based for the initial stage, but I anticipate you know a way or two all the way up to the Merchant's Shelf and possibly even Spire Heights. The ultimate goal will be to infiltrate the Academy archives through whatever means necessary before 3 months have elapsed. Failure to do so will have consequences for all of us. Now, do you have any questions? Ah, the person with you when we picked you up. Friend of yours? Huh. Just as well, then. They expressed a sentiment that you owed them money, and a reluctance to give you up until a debt was settled. So I paid them your share. A trifle sum, really, that would constitute a rounding error to me, but perhaps they're a connection we can exploit. Would I be right to say they're connected to a gang? And what do you know of this group? I see. If they're in control of Lower Flotsam, then it's fair to say they have control of the passages beneath. Perhaps we can put together a deal, an understanding, or perhaps you know a few other ways of your own that you haven't shared. My concern is not for the city or its denizens. I do not work for a governing body nor a state. I am a scion, remember? I serve the archivist, and their concern is all, and that is it. If this city were to slump into the ocean, then I would mourn the loss of knowledge, both actual and potential, for it should be preserved, prepared, and exercised at my patron's discretion. Perhaps. Perhaps not. It's not for me to decide. I tire of this. You have context, and you have agreed to join. That is sufficient for now. Then you can convey these concerns to my Master-at-Arms. She is in charge of matters of security, and she is quite an exceptional swordswoman and arbalist. She is also from the wild. We have an understanding. It is by the very nature of my work that we collaborate. Operating beyond the boundaries of official governance affords this level of flexibility. And if I were to work through official channels, then she would have killed me already. You may end up working closely with her. I suggest you get on her good side. Oh, I don't know. Tell me when you find out. I generally define it by waking up in the morning, but perhaps my bar's a little low. As I'm sure you can expect, she's a little on edge operating in proximity to a city and so many humans, but she'll adjust in her own way. She is troubled by our search for more information on Black Iron, I'll grant you. But given the ultimate goal is to document and archive that information, only for it to be judiciously dispensed according to my patrons' whims, it is a great deal better in their hands than ours. Well, what about them? Who said anything about giving them the information? If they want it, they can beseech the archivist or engage in a pitched debate about it. It's irrelevant to me until it's not. Is there anything else before you begin your service to me? No? Good. I was getting hungry anyway. Then I'd like to formally welcome you to the team. It is time we get to work.